I don't know what happened with my microphone, but the audio is a little off. I got it fixed, as you can tell, but it does sound a little rough throughout this video, but continue watching. So one of my favorite shows to watch growing up was a show called Lost Tapes. Me and my stepbrother Donovan used to love watching it. And, I do have the first 2 seasons on Amazon. So this show first debuted on Halloween in 2008. I was 9. I'm 26, and I'm 26 now, but and the first episode was simply titled Chupacabra. Now, don't laugh at me. Don't laugh at me. Growing up, I thought this was a legit found footage type of show. And it's laughable now because it does not hold up, man. But 2008, Ryan didn't know better. We were seeing peak villainy in 2008, Randy Orton bald head. But let's take it episode by episode basis. By the way, spoilers ahead. Be warned. This is an 18-year-old show, though. So, episode 1, The Chupacabra. Every episode is pretty simple. It basically follows the same premise. Number 1, you learn why the person has a camera. Because, everyone has that found footage. Part 2, you get a little glimpse of whatever the monster of the episode is. And then part 3, someone dies, usually. Someone gets got. So, Chupacabra. There's this family in Mexico, and the family in the U.S. hires a coyote, as they call it. It's someone who is paid to smuggle them from Mexico into the U.S. to, you guessed it, smuggle this mom, dad, and daughter into the U.S. But another present this daughter got is a video camera. By the way, it's this little girl's birthday. And her 2 presents were video camera and getting smuggled into the U.S. Now the grandma stays behind, so it's mom, dad, daughter, grandma. Grandma stays behind. I don't think they gave a reason. So the first part of the found footage comes from Ava's camera, and the other part of the footage comes from Border Patrol's body cams. And let me tell you, the acting is top tier. I'll insert a clip of the Border Patrol agents acting, and you let me know how great it is to you.
Right here. I don't know about the heat, man, but this one's got 3 puncture wounds, and you know what? I don't see any blood.
Top tier. So, these are like 23 episodes. 23-minute episodes. Simple, cut to the point. They keep hearing noises. And eventually, you don't see the attack, and you don't see the Chupacabra. But eventually, the mom and dad both end up dead with 3 holes punched in the neck and no blood. But during the episode, the 2 Border Patrol agents, in the middle of the night, decide to look for more survivors. And at one point, they hear noises in the brush. And they just start blasting. And I'm like, that's the America I know. It is a very simple premise of the show. I do recommend you watching it if it was on any streaming service. It's not. You gotta buy the episodes individually. Not great. Episode 2. Bigfoot. Oh, who doesn't know what Bigfoot is nowadays, right? Everyone knows Bigfoot. And every time someone mentions Bigfoot, thanks to my friend Regan, I think of the Mitch Hedberg joke. Play the joke, Ryan.
I think Bigfoot is blurry. That's the problem. It's not the photographer's fault. Bigfoot is blurry. And that's extra scary to me because there's a large, out-of-focus monster.
So the found footage for this episode comes in trail cams. Sorry, it's weird. Her own camera. She also vlogs like a video diary basically, and by someone stalking this anti-poacher lady because her job is to stop poachers. It sounds weird, and it is. And at one point, this lady sees Bigfoot straight up. Like, she gets the camera on Bigfoot, and it's blurry because, as we established maybe a minute earlier, Bigfoot is just inherently blurry. Makes it way more terrifying. And then eventually she catches the stalker because he's like, "Oh, where'd you go? Oh, you looking for me?" Has a gun, and she's got to take the video camera, and he punches her once and gets away. And we'll fast forward to the end because there's a bunch of stuff you don't need to know. Is not important to the story, but at the end she's doing her like daily vlog video diary thing, and the two poachers / stalkers basically start making noise outside her little cabin she's in, banging on the walls, yada yada. She then hears a noise. It's Bigfoot. They don't see Bigfoot, but he takes care of business. He takes care of business. And yeah, she goes outside with a video camera, and one of the poachers dies because he stepped in his own trap, or Bigfoot hung him up like that. Episode 3, The Monster of Monterey. Starts with this 26-year-old journalist named Sarah. And she's doing a solo around the world journey on this tiny boat. It ain't a big boat, which, she's like, this is day 171. It's the last day, and everything has gone smoothly. It's chill up until the last day. Now, the found footage on this one is this webcam's on the boat because this journey is being live streamed to the journal's website. So at one point, her engine gets seized up, and she's like, I guess I gotta go in the water to find out. She tethers herself to it so she doesn't get, separated and disconnected and doesn't float away. And it's like a piece of blubber that was causing the engine to seize up. I'm not too sure. And at one point, Sarah gets a distress call and is like, "These are my coordinates. I need help." Yada yada yada. She tried to reach out, nothing. So she eventually finds the boat, and unironically, she gets close enough to the boat, and the first thing she says is, "Ahoy, Captain!" Granted, it did make me laugh. I did find it funny. And there's a bunch of blood on this boat. Who knows what from? And at one point, she puts on a life jacket, which turns out to be a smart idea, because a monster hits a boat, and she goes overboard, and she can't get back up. She's on the side of the boat. She doesn't have the strength to pull herself back up. And in the found footage, you see the low budget Loch Ness monster. But yeah, you see the silhouette. She eventually tries to go to the behind the boat where there's a ladder, and guess what? She untethers herself. Here's the boat, here's her. It just starts drifting. It's like my parents married when I was a little kid. They're no longer together. They were together for maybe a couple years. That's not the point. That's not a therapy session. I apologize. But yeah, the episode ends when she gets pulled in the water. Her body was never found, but her camera was. And we don't know what took her. Episode 4. Swamp Creature. Half man, half reptile. They're among us. The lizard people are taking over. Obviously, if I say swamp monster, where do you think this takes place? What United State? What U.S. state does this take place? Did you say Alabama? If you did, you're wrong. This obviously takes place in Louisiana. Bayou country. This found footage is from this researcher, and an assistant. The assistant is taking the video footage. Listen, you gotta make content somehow. They're trying to. I can't remember what it's like Honey Lick Swamp or some dumb stuff like that. And, they're crocodiles. That was the main issue, is crocodiles. Because the first thing that happens is they set a bag down and a crocodile's like, hey, this shit's mine. It's mine. I'm keeping it. If you can try to grab it, but I'm going to bite you. Because I do speak a little crocodile, Took it for a semester abroad in Louisiana. I know what he's saying. So, that bag obviously has a compass and all that, mapping them. And the researcher's like, we just gotta do it the old-fashioned way. And the assistant's like, I should have been part of the Boy Scouts. So obviously, they get lost. They do eventually come across the camp, and they get a little jump scare. And there's this bayou man who's like, "Ooh, you picked the wrong place to get out." I can't even do the Louisiana accent, but it sounds like cornbread. It cuts to them being led by the bayou man. It's like, yeah, the doctor made a deal to have him show us the way out or whatever. But the bayou man is on their side now. The assistant, like every episode, does get a little clip of the swamp creature. And they're like, I'm locked in. I saw it. And the bayou man's like, hey, let's go. And he's like, I saw it. It doesn't matter. One of the rules the bayou man says is, don't go out at night. And fast forward in the episode, they set up camp. It's around midnight. They hear noises. And what does the bayou man do? He goes out at night. It's like the number one rule. There was 2 rules. Respect them, they'll respect you, and don't go out at night. And you broke rule number 2. You had 2 rules, and you broke one of your own. But I think it's a crocodile because the assistant did step on like a nest of eggs and didn't tell anyone. Don't trust him during a zombie apocalypse. But Bayou Man goes out, he comes back, his arms like bit, scratched up and all that. But the researchers, they open the tent and she just starts blasting. Just bop, 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 bop. And surprisingly, they all live. They don't find any body after the shots, but they all live. I think this is the only episode that has a 100% alive count. Non-mortality rates. 0% mortality rate. There you go, Ryan. Episode 5. Weirdest one yet. The Oklahoma, wait for it, octopus. I've been to Oklahoma many of times. I like to gamble. I've been to many wrestling shows there. I didn't know they had an octopus in a lake up there. What is an octopus doing in a lake in Oklahoma? Some footage come from this guy's camera via like this last weekend trip together with his boys and weekend trip. 3 guys, 2 gals. Yeah. So they're out on this huge lake. Now, at one point, the cameraman gets footage of tentacles coming out of the lake and just brushes it off. It's like, maybe I need to see that. If I see tentacles coming out, I'm not going in. And guess what they do? They go in that lake. They're having a good time. Women, canoeing, rafting, and eventually they get stuck on this platform in the middle of the lake. Because there's usually a platform at lakes where you can just kind of chill, sunbathe, drink a couple brewskis with the boys. They're all stuck because they've seen some tentacles. One of the guys like, I got it. He's going to get one of the canoes, row it over here, get everyone to safety. Yeah, Tentacle Man capsizes the boat. Guy's never seen again. Next guy's like, oh, he's just probably joking around. I'll go check. Goes out, goes under the canoe. Bing, bang, boom. Never sees again. So it's just the camera guy and the 2 girls. And they're just kind of stuck on this little platform. And then it goes to nighttime, and the octopus strikes and gets one of the girls. So now it's just one girl and one guy. So what do? They both decide to make a swim for it. They leave the video camera, and guess what? You guessed it, they lived. Dude, kudos. I thought they were goners. They somehow survived. Episode 6, The Devil Dragon. Basically, it's just a big-ass Komodo dragon. And if you've played Far Cry 3, you know Komodo dragons are the devils themselves. So, you know, I'm pretty sure it's just a standard Komodo dragon. I don't like him. Ever since Far Cry 3, I don't trust him. I don't like him. This is my favorite found footage yet, though. Because the premise of it is from the pilot episode of a survival wilderness show called Stranded. So we do get low budget Bear Grylls here, and it's awesome. You know, he's talking to the cameras, yada yada. He had a tripod or something, because, you know, a big old tail knocks the camera over. You see the trail. You know it's the Devil Dragon. Bing bang bop, he gets bit. Bing bang bop, he's poisoned at this point, because, you know, Komodo dragon carries poison. And guess what? He gets got by the Devil Dragon. Bing bang bop, he's done. They never found his body. Did find the camera. Win-win. Episode 7. Death Raptor. Now, when you hear Death Raptor, what do you think? You know, dinosaurs maybe 2018 Kawhi Leonard. No. This one's about an owl man that originated in England. Basically, just a low-budget Batman, if you ask me. So this one follows a two-man team of paranormal investigators. This is Phasmophobia before Phasmophobia. They're investigating this huge church that has like this demonic presence, and boom! Jump scared by an old lady. They're saying, "You should not be here!" But like in a caring way. Fast forward, you know, they're there at night. They ascend to the bell tower, and they find a couple dead pigeons and a giant owl pellet from the owl man. Yeah. Blah, blah, blah. They interview this child who's seen the owl man, and they make the smartest decision I've ever seen in television history. They bring the girl and her mother out in the woods in the middle of the night to try to entice the owl man or something. I got lost. They eventually get led back into the church, and boom! Another jump scare by the elderly woman. And the pastor of the church. They live there, I guess? They're doing something freaky on church time. God's watching. You then see the silhouette of the owl man. Does remind me of Batman. Just what? And this owl man, who apparently went to certain parties, apparently visited certain islands, because the owl man wants the little girl. Psych! Owl man swoops on the old lady. The old lady sacrifices herself. And she's the only casualty. That's it. One and done. Little girl alive. She probably graduated college by now. Episode 8. Cave Demons. This episode takes place in Afghanistan during the Afghanistan War. And cave demons are essentially just bats that attack humans. So in the middle of the night, a few military soldiers are sent on this mission to go figure out what is jamming the US of A's military signals. What could go wrong? I do think this is one of the more boring episodes, because you can't really see what's happening because it's at night. Yada yada. But you know, it does the Lost Tapes episode structure. They get attacked. One falls and hurts himself. They get attacked again. 2 of the men die. 1 is found. Has a severe case of rabies. But eventually lives. Main character lives. We love to see it. So, what I like about this episode, what I think is fascinating, has to do with the conspiracy theory of why green is used during night vision. It's not because we can see more shades of green at night. It's because we used to use red night vision goggle, but apparently the red night vision, you saw demons and shit. So they switched to green. It was wild. Episode 9, Megaconda. So two animal rights activists goes into this like textile store that is allegedly running an illegal exotic animal trade, which includes a big snake, like a big snake. They break in the middle of the night, and they do find crates that says live animals on them. And apparently the security guard that, watches the place at night knows about the illegal trade but doesn't say anything. But his dog does not like the biggest of the crates. I wonder why. They eventually find actual animals. And then the guard finds them. And they're arguing. The guy's like, give me the tape. And the guy's like, hey, don't give him the tape. Give me the tape. Don't give him the tape. Guard pulls out a gun and is like, hey, give me the tape. And he's like, my bad, Brooksy. Didn't know it was that serious. And he gives them the tape. And the guard's like, now get the fuck out. Doesn't press charges. Chill guy. Probably because, the illegal exotic animal trade. So the guard, while they were arguing, they did hear a big noise. So the guard goes to investigate the big noise, and the animal rights activist like, second tape. A second tape has hit the camera. So back to the security guard. He goes back to where he was, and that giant box is now open. And I don't know how he doesn't see it, but you can see via the security camera a giant snake slithering into the next room. And the guard, here's the guard. And here's the snake just... I don't know how he didn't see it. And then eventually, sadly, I'm just going to break your heart, the security dog dies. Sad. Rest in peace to a real homie. And then, the two activists are trying to escape at this point of the episode. Main one died via the Megaconda. And, the other guy finally escapes with the security guard. He drops his camera, but guess what? They're safe. End of episode. Right, wrong. The guy who is running this illegal exotic animal trade shows up. He finds the camera. Says, so this is him. He finds the camera. Says, hey, you're the camera. He finds it, looks at it, goes like, I guess it's my lucky day. Bam, gets got by the Megaconda. End of episode. Chromatic Justice. Episode 10. The Thunderbird. Now, for some reason, this is the episode I remember the most. I don't know why it's this episode I remember the most, but it's the one I remember the most. And because it's like 3 kids. The youngest one's 9. I think the other 2 are like early teens, maybe. Can't remember what age they said. They break into this restricted area of a national park so they can skateboard. And one of the kids, I won't say who, the youngest, super unlucky and encounters the Thunderbird. Now, why is it called the Thunderbird? It's because it's like real big, and the sound of its wings flapping sounds like thunder. Thunder, thunder, thunder. Yeah, like that. So obviously, what happens next? Big skateboarding montage. We're gonna need a montage. Yeah, the youngest kid hurts himself. Breaks his leg, can't move. So they come up with this awesome plan. They're like, hey, we leave him. We go back, grab my dad's bolt cutters and the little wagon. Come back, cut the bolt, get him in the wagon, bing, bang, bop. No one knows. They start, at one point, one of the kids like, yeah, I don't think we should do it. So we can't leave my brother's like, hey, dude, I can't get in trouble. Brother might be dead, but I can't get in trouble again. they're gonna take away my Xbox. I've been playing a lot of Star Wars Battlefront on it. I can't get that taken away. They didn't really say that, but he's like, hey, I can't get in trouble. So eventually they get back to where the youngest kid had hurt himself, and he's gone. Disappeared. Vanished. The moosh. Other ways to describe it. You get the gist. And they're like, what do we, oh no. Oh no. But eventually the little boy was found at the bottom of an overpass about half a mile away. Still alive. No one died. This is the second episode. No one died. Episode 11, Skinwalker. In my opinion, this is the worst episode due to the fact that I've seen a show called Skinwalker Ranch. And here's the first episode. I think you could easily Google Skinwalker Ranch and see that's totally made up, because it shows who owns Skinwalker Ranch during this video. It's not the same person. So here's a short story of it. A guy comes home from college to visit the family ranch. Brings a video camera because his girlfriend was supposed to join but can't. So he's like, I'll videotape everything for you, baby. Skinwalker first appears as a Native American woman, and then a coyote who attacks the sheep, because you see both coyote prints and human footprints. It mimics the mom's voice at some point, and then at the end of the episode, the dad's driving at night, and they hit the Native American woman, but they save like a baby sheep, and then you see that a coyote just runs, and they're like, Episode 12, Mothman, another self-explanatory episode that legit just follows. Well, so it's so dumb. They use a story about the first alleged Mothman sighting at the bridge, how the bridge falls. But the twist, the found footage twist here is the FBI is interrogating a guy they think planted a bomb to blow up the bridge. It's dumb. It's legit just that. They're interrogating because like, no, Mothman can't do that. End of episode. Plain and simple. Episode 13, Death Worm. Another one I did at the end of the last episode, but I can't blame you for thinking the same. It's about two bros. One recently got married. The other one's like, this one's a bro time. So they're ATV riding in the Gobi Desert. Blah, blah, blah. Their stuff stops working, so they're forced to spend a night. One of them gets bit by something. They're like, I don't know what this is. Eventually, they get footage of something moving under the sand. And if you've seen Dune, that's not the cry. That's a immigration song. What am I on? But yeah, pretty simple. They try to escape and fail. They both get got by the death worm. The bodies weren't found, but the footage was. Let's go. Footage found. Final episode 14, The Hellhound. Fun fact, this is the top-rated episode of the season with a whopping, a massive rating of, drum roll please, use your plug if you need to, 6.5. So it's a bunch of college students, a gang of goths, if you will. 4 of them, they pick up this girl, they blindfold her, and they take her to a cemetery to initiate her, I guess, into this group. It's goth chicks. I think it's hot. That's neither here nor there. You know, a dog attacks them a couple times. They finally decide to, dip. One of the funniest scenes of the season is here. the car doesn't start at first, and they're like, "Oh, we're gonna die, we're gonna die," and one of the girls like, "You think the car started? Now we're not gonna die, right? The car didn't start, so you think we're gonna die, but now you don't think so. We're gonna because it starts." And they're arguing back and forth while she's driving, and they get into a car wreck. And this has the most realistic camera braking effect I've ever seen. Look at it, dude. Realistic as hell. Plot twist. The girl that they initiated into the gang of goths, there was never her name was never registered in that local university. Who was she? The other four did die in the car accident, though, so, So, that was season 1 of The Lost Tapes. Does not age well. But I can do 2 more episodes like this with season 2 and 3. And I might need some content later. Doesn't age well, doesn't hold up. Kind of fun nostalgia watch. But as always, I hope you enjoy the content. This is a longer video than I'm used to, so hope you stay till the end. Please hit that like and subscribe button. Trying to gain 1,000 subs by the end of the year.